And we're live with another Monday Live for the Marketing for Insurance Agents group. We are super excited for today. We have a very, very, very special guest with us that we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about. If you're catching the replay of this, go ahead and fast forward just a little bit as we're going to give people time to hop on. We'll be doing intros in just a little bit as well, but I'm really excited coming off of a birthday weekend, or in my case, I call it a birthday month. Why not take the entire month that's your birthday, right? Right? I feel like that's fair. So we had a good time. Did some axe throwing. So had some fun axe throwing, and no one lost any fingers or anything, which I feel like is a win for sure on that. So that was a lot of fun. And then played some pool, hung out, played a little golf, and I only lost like 5 golf balls, so I consider that a win too. On that side, I managed to chase an iguana around and some geese and stuff too. So made extra fun for that little Florida safari. Yeah, so lots of good fun times. A little BMX riding, a little good stuff down here. So it's starting to get real nice down here in Florida. So if anybody's already getting snow, which I know some of you guys are, I'd suggest moving. So come on down to Florida, at least come vacation. So, but yeah, no, I'm really excited for today. I'm really excited for this week. For hopping to today. For anybody that is in MFIA or groups, anything knows that this month is No Excuses November. So we're all about taking action, putting stuff in place, making no excuses, and just making our goals happen. And so I think with that, there's so many things that we can't control, so many things that happen, but the two things that we can control is our actions and our attitude, and how we respond to those things and how we push past them. So if everything was easy, then nothing would be a challenge, nothing would be learning, and they wouldn't need as many agents because it wouldn't be challenging, right? And so for this, it's all how do we push past and how do we take action, how do we accomplish stuff no matter what happens. So I'm really excited. I'm excited to have a special guest today talking about a lot of things that she's pushed past and put in place and made things happen, and I'm really excited to celebrate that with her and ring the bell plenty of times. So with that, I already see some people hopping on. So let us know in the chat if you can see us, if you can hear us. So we're not just talking to ourselves, although that's fun too. We enjoy talking to you guys. So I see a few people commenting. So I think we are ready to rock and roll, as we'll have some more hop on as we go. So this is being recorded. So I guess that's my cue to start, as we got an alarm, time to go. So with that, guys, a lot of you guys may be new. We have about almost 30,000 insurance agents in this group. And so with that, we have new agents coming in all the time. And so if this is your very first Facebook Live with us or webinar, write first in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to welcome you. I'd love to say hi. We got a team that would love to get you some free training and resources that we have to welcome you to the group, learn more about you and your insurance business. And so we always love welcoming new members, new agents to the group. So right first, if this is your very first time hopping on with us, we'd love to welcome you being here. And if you're a regular, you hop into these a lot, you've checked these out, you've been with us, whether it's been a few weeks or a few years, write MFIA in the comments for marketing for insurance agents. We love having you guys here. We love having you guys hopping on to the trainings, to the webinars, everything that we're doing. Love having you as a part of the community. It's an awesome community, and we're so thankful for you guys being a part of it. So write MFIA if you're a regular and you hop on these a bunch. So for all those that are new, being like, who are these people? Why am I here? What's going on in the first place? I think it's time for a little bit of introductions before we get started. So I'm David Denning, one of the co-founders of Jumpstart Go. And we really started this group, Marketing for Insurance Agents, as a free resource for you guys to connect, to ask questions, find referral partners, discuss what's going on in the industry, sharing ideas, strategies, just as a positive community for agents that are looking to learn and grow and scale their businesses. All lines of insurance, captive, independent. We love having you guys here. And with that, we do live trainings every week, either Facebook Live or webinars on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So go ahead and put them on your calendar. Make sure you don't miss these. We dive in a lot. We talk about a ton of things for growing your insurance business, whether it's lead generation, sales, hiring and recruiting, automation, social media, a million and one things. So definitely make sure to come check these out. We love having you guys here. And then we also work with hundreds of agents directly within our programs, Closers Click, Producers Academy, Legends, as well within our own Final Expense agency as well. We love working with agents really in any capacity, whether it's in this group or in our programs or in our agency. We love you guys, and we love watching you guys win and succeed is our goal. And so personally, from our background, experience in a lot of different areas, but done a couple million through social media. That's one of our areas that we love doing and showing agents on how to grow and expand there, among many others. And so with me, I have a very special guest that we are ringing the bell for, celebrating, and look forward to talking to tonight. So Saaghe, I love if you could introduce yourself and a little bit of background.
So hi everyone. Hi for hopping on. If it's your first time, we definitely welcome you. So my name is Saaghe Fogwe. I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Been in the business for about 2 years now, but my background is pretty interesting. So came from, I've been in the United States for 26 years. Came from Cameroon in West Africa. Looking for the American dream, right? And then, of course, went to school, did marketing and business. My first degree was marketing and business, but my first job was accounting. So I was a staff accountant for 10 years and then circled into the medical field, became a nurse practitioner, and then finances found me. So that's how I ended up in the insurance space, because I came to realize that health and wealth go together.
Mm.
So I'm in the health space, helping people with their health. But at the same time, a lot of people's health deteriorates because of their finances, because they're not able to afford taking care of their health. So I've merged those two things together. I call it health care to wealth care.
Very nice.
Healthcare to wealth
Trademark
care.
that.
So that's how I ended up in this space.
I love it. And that makes so much sense. I see a lot of people come out of nursing into the insurance world, actually. It's a very common transition. And I love that, I love how you've made that connection of health and wealth and how that all goes together. I think a lot of people also in the nursing world are like, okay, what can I do that I'm not working 24/7 and crazy stressful situations and everything as well. My mom being an RN, I know throughout the years what all goes into that, and props and thanks to them, especially during COVID, for everything
Yes.
they did. But I love the insurance world, insurance space, and that's awesome to hear your journey from that side to this side as well, and how you made that connection and why you made that connection. So I'm really, really excited. We're excited to have Saaghe today. We have a lot to talk about and what she put in place to her business that's led to crazy results and really awesome growth and success. That's just the beginning as well with her. So so I'm gonna go ahead and tee up what we're gonna be talking about tonight. All throughout tonight, be dropping your questions, your comments. We're going to be doing a Q&A in a little bit, so make sure to get your questions in. The team will be collecting those, so we can ask those at the end, and we'll pick some of the top questions. So ask some good questions for us. And I promise you, just like everything, as much as you'll get as much out of this as you put into this. So engage with us in the comments, ask those questions, interact with us. You'll get so much out of this training is what we always encourage. And just like everything as well, be taking notes and be ready to go put things into action for what you learn. If you're going to come spend time with these lives, these trainings, these things that we do, don't just listen and then just move on and do the same things over and over again. Listen, learn, and put into place, right? Like, it doesn't do any good to learn something if you don't take action. So that's what we're all about. That's all what No Excuses November is about, is taking action, putting things in place. So what you learned tonight, go take action on that and at least take one step in putting that in place in your own business. So with that, let me go ahead and tee up tonight's training. So I'm really excited to dive into Saaghe's story today. She went from feeling overworked and capped making $5,000 per month to hitting $22,000 in commissions in 1 month, which I think is pretty incredible, and promoted to senior marketing director. So big congrats to her. I know that was a big goal and that was a huge accomplishment. We're really, really excited. And so the main areas that helped her unlock her quantum growth are social media presence, consistency with her message, and no option to quit mindset, which I love. And so feel free to ask your questions throughout tonight as we dive into all these areas, and we're going to grab some questions and answer those in the Q&A session. So if you're ready to hear about Saaghe's journey, how she put that in place, what specific things she implemented, then write "let's go" in the comments, and we'll dive in and start the conversation. Otherwise, if we don't get any "let's goes," we're going to go have dinner. So you know what? Drop some "let's goes," and because we got a lot of stuff to share, and I'd like to share it. So, and we got some "let's goes." Okay, so plenty of people are ready for us to dive in. So, Saaghe, that's enough of me talking. Time to let you talk here. So congratulations on that success once again.
Thank
But we
you.
know in the beginning it was tough. Wasn't easy. Wasn't smooth sailing. Wasn't like, okay, started insurance and now I'm skyrocketing all day long. So what were the biggest challenges that you were facing when you were first getting started?
So the biggest challenges, I believe, at the beginning were mostly getting to explain to people that why is this nurse practitioner talking about money? People looked at me crazy, like, why are you talking about money? So I had to literally break that ground and explain to people where my heart is. Just like what I introduced here, healthcare and wealth care go together. If
Mm-hmm.
you're not healthy, you can't work to earn the income that you need to create wealth. And on the other hand, if you don't have the wealth, your health cannot be taken care of. We've had people literally, as a nurse practitioner, you've had people rushing to be discharged to go home because they have to make it to a job. So breaking that ground, having to explain myself, having to, to let people know where my heart is, the community needs it. And also the background I come from, my community, amongst many other communities, is resistant to insurance because of the stereotypes that they've built over the years. People have been given that impression that life insurance only means that you need to die to benefit from it. But I had to literally educate people that there are many types of life insurance. You have the death insurance, which means that yes, you die and then someone benefits from it. But at the same time, you have life insurance that can help you live. Those, policies that have living benefits will help you actually live a more fulfilling life and still take care of your day-to-day activities, day-to-day bills, day-to-day whatever, and still have something left over for if you pass away and leave a legacy for your family. So breaking that ground was tough, having to explain that to people and educate them, but I didn't quit. That's the one thing I refuse to do. I refuse to quit because I know that the next person out there needs to hear this message. They need to hear what I'm all about. They need it because we're tired of GoFundMe's. We're tired of the GoFundMe pandemic. It's a pandemic.
It is.
It is a pandemic. You get pulled into a group to contribute for somebody else's, misfortune, their sickness, somebody passed away, and because there's nothing in place, you have to be part of that. And so it's something that I'm all about. I'm trying to break through that ground and just get people educated properly because there's a gap between the poor and the wealthy, which is the financial education. And that's where I come in. So that was really tough at the beginning, getting people to understand that. Another challenge was just time, having the time. I still work full time as a nurse practitioner, by the way, if anyone was wondering. I still work and I do this on the side. I work full time as a nurse practitioner and I'm still doing this because I still have to take care of people's health and do this, be in this space. But it doesn't take away from how passionate I am about what I do. So the time, finding that time to talk to people, make the phone calls, build a team, get people, coach people, mentor other people, that was a challenge. But I found a way now to kind of, and this, being in this space, in this marketing for insurance agent space, it has helped me kind of work some things out in such a way that time now is more manageable, where I'm able to break that barrier, break that challenge. No excuses. Like this month is no excuse November. I had all kinds of excuses not to be here today, but I'm here. I'm here today. So those are top challenges that I'll say, were the main ones for me.
I love that. And going from educating and consulting people on their health and what they need to put in place, how they need to be healthy, on that nurse practitioner side, to now doing the same on the financial side, and that financial education. You're right, really being the difference between the wealthy and people that just aren't don't have that financial literacy, because that's not taught. That's not, we're not educated on that.
Mhm.
People, learn who was the queen in 1252 in school, but not how to, write a check or how to do a budget. And then we wonder why we have financial issues.
Yeah.
And you're talking about how people are rushing from the hospital to get home to work their jobs, to have their income.
Yeah.
And then, it's also the flip side of people that are afraid to even go to the hospital
Mhm.
and everything, just because of how our healthcare system is as well. So yeah, that health and wellness, I love how you've bridged the gap between those two, and I think that's so important. So finding out that message, that mission that you
Mhm.
have, and then starting to have those conversations and educate
Mhm.
and really consult and teach, and how that has just been a key part of your platform, especially to people that maybe were resistant to that or having these sort of
Mhm.
discussions. And I definitely see how that was a challenge, and a lot of people encounter that. So it's been amazing to see how you've come through and taught and
Mhm.
built a platform educating people on and around that. And then the second challenge is one that we quite commonly hear as well, is time, right? How do I balance
Mhm.
this? How do I get everything accomplished? What do I spend my time on? How do I make the most out of it? And if you can do that full time as a nurse, and really building an empire on the insurance side as well, then I mean that's really inspiring, I think, to a lot of agents that are like, how in the world can I do both? How can I build? And if I am doing this full time, like, watching how someone with a full-time job is doing this also, like, it's really
Mhm.
powerful, and really seeing like, hey, this is possible. I can do this. I just got to be smart about how I use my time and what I'm focusing on. So I love that. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for sharing that, Sahi, on those challenges. And I know, and those were two really big ones, is like, how do I get in front of people? How do I, explain this to them? How do I start these conversations and build up my clients, and helping them on the wealth side as well as that health side? So write yes in the comments if you can relate to these challenges. If you find yourself have run into similar challenges, whether it's time, whether it's getting a pipeline of clients in front of you, how to have those discussion with clients, whether that's a challenge you're going through now or have gone through in your journey, write yes in the comments if you can relate to that. I think really all agents here can relate to that in one way or the other, because they've been through it or are currently going through it. So I think it's especially inspiring to new agents as well, coming in being like, hey, man, does everybody go through this? Has people been successful doing this? Have people been able to balance their time, their families, everything? So I think that's really awesome. I can see right now that a lot of people relate with that in the comments. So thank you, Sahi. I really appreciate that. So no, so that we talked about some of the challenges, and I think that's key, because there's a lot of them, and a lot of people go through them, and that's key. But now what everybody's interested in is like, well, what do we do about those challenges, right? So Sahi, let's talk about the things that have made the biggest impact on your growth. What have been the biggest needle movers on really helping you grow and succeed?
So I would say, just being coachable. At first of all, being coachable. You have to be in alignment with whoever your coach or mentor is. If you're in this space, you have to have a mentor. You have to have a coach. So apart from having that on the outside of this group, I also had this group that coached me through the different steps of making my presence known on social media, posting videos. I wasn't comfortable posting videos. I'm one of those who's always behind the camera taking pictures of other people. I'm never wanting to be on the other side, but I learned how to be in front of the camera, posting videos, learning how to get referral partnerships. Got some, good ones through, social media. So that was one thing, just getting out there, out of my comfort zone, of just talking to people that I know in my warm market, but I started reaching out to other people and being able to, to connect to other people out there who are just lost. They need the help, but they need somebody to connect to them. And so that's one thing that, that helped get me, closer to where I needed to be. The second thing was just consistency, being consistent, having a schedule. you know, writing down everything, having a plan for the day, and making sure that I kept with that plan. And if I didn't, I moved it over to the next day to make sure that the next day I'm taking care of that. If I miss calling 5 people today, I add them on the top of the list for the next day. And asking for help, leveraging. That's one thing that we don't know how to. If you're a type A personality, which I don't know if I really am a type A, but I kind of, have to have control of certain things. As a mom, you try to.
And Sahi will be right back. So I think your internet may have kicked her off. So in the meantime, reminder, get your questions in. We're going to be doing a Q&A in just a minute. And so I want to make sure that you guys have a chance to get the Q&A in. I'm happy to answer anything in the meantime until Sahi pops back. I think she got too excited and Facebook realized it and it kicked her off. So she's coming back in right now. I see her. So, and she's back.
Hey, technology, you can live with it or you can't live with it,
No excuses. That's right. We're still going. We're still
no
rocking.
excuses. All right. So I was talking about consistency, being consistent, making sure that you have a plan for the day. If it doesn't work out to complete your plan today, move it over to the next day. No excuses. You move on to the next day and make sure that you're just consistent. And with your message, my message has been consistent. Everyone I talk to, it's the same message. It doesn't change. Same thing. I'm educating you. You need this. But at the same time, also listening to my clients, not just telling them what they need to hear, but also listening to them. Because what David needs might be different from what Sahi needs. So not just imposing my views on them and saying that, oh, you need this, or you need $1 million policy. No, they might not be able to afford $1 million policy. So if you're not listening to them, that's how you lose clients. Mm-hmm. So just that consistency and making sure that my message is heard, and combining it with listening to meeting people at their point of need, that alone led to a lot of success getting through to people. And it's not just clients, also my team members, because I'm not going out there talking to people outside about something that I'm not doing. I made sure I started with my family. I took care of my family. I took care of my friends. I took care of my close contacts before going out there, because I'll be a hypocrite if I'm going out selling shoes and I have no shoes on. You're telling people that, oh, these red bottoms, they feel so good on your feet, but you don't have any on. Really? I'm not going to do that. So, so being consistent was, definitely another strong suit that pushed me, or a needle pusher, like David called it.
I love it. Consistency, integrity, making sure you're practicing what you preach and what you're teaching people as well. And that consistency is key. I think a lot of people breeze past that. They're looking for the shortcut, the magic button. And honestly, part of that is just being consistent, and that consistency leads to results. Activity leads to results. And when you're consistent, you give yourself chances every single day for those results and for those conversations. And I think for a lot of people, they, I can do a lot today, and then they don't do anything for the next days or week. And then, it's really hard to have a groove of momentum unless you're consistent. So that's a huge portion of that. And I know you mentioned a little bit, but I'd love to hear a little bit more on the social media and what you were put in place there, how you got past your fear on doing video and putting video into place, and what that's kind of looked like for you.
So I just made sure that posting was constant. I mean, yeah, there are days here and there that you don't put a message out, but I did that a lot more. Right now, of course, my social media, I told David before this, my social media was messed with. So I'm rebuilding my space, right? So my social media, I'm having to rebuild everything. So if you go there, it looks like a ghost social media. It's just because someone messed with it. But my old Facebook page, I was posting, I was reaching out to people. I was making sure that I'm engaging with people, actually responding to messages, making sure I add about 5 to 10 friends a day, but reaching out to them, connecting with them, and finding out, how I could, be of service to them. And that helped a lot. That helped quite a bit. Sorry, my kid's bus alarm is going on. Hey, life goes on, right? We're family. So yeah, just reaching out to people, posting with the referral partnerships. We had a challenge where you had to, go, do 5 posts and all of that. So I tried to, to engage in that. As difficult as it was working full time, I still made an effort to do that. And I think that made a difference. Just making my presence known, putting my message out there, making sure that I'm putting messages on social media so people know what I'm about. Because people are not just going to look at you and imagine what you're thinking. You have to make the message known. You have to put out and be bold about it. Don't be a closet agent where you're doing your business but nobody knows what you do. You have to tell people so they can connect with you. So you have to be upfront about what you do.
I love it. I love it. And so talk to me a little bit about these big accomplishments, that really big month that you had, promotion, what does that look like? Was that a long-term goal of yours? What are your next goals? Talk to me a little bit about those, because there's some really big accomplishments there.
Yeah, so I became really intentional about what I was trying to do. So I took my business and I had been slacking a little bit. So I decided that, okay, I need to do this and be intentional about it. So attending trainings, being in alignment again with my mentors and coaches, listening to what was being said in this group, following the recommendations that were given. So all of that made me set some goals. The goal was actually 10K in that month, and it ended up being double what my goal was. But then, the plan, I know, the plan is to keep up with that, make that a minimum, the bare minimum. That way it's consistent. But I want people to understand that I'm not here to act like I've made it. I have not made it. I'm still learning. I'm still hitting my goal. I'm still moving towards where I need to be. I'm still building a team, and I want that team to grow with me. I'm not one of those leaders who wants to be on the pay cycle by yourself and everybody else is just watching you. A single successful person in a community is not successful. It has to be a joint effort, and that's what I'm about. I'm about everybody being successful together. So yes, I hit that goal. I'm not gonna, grow a big head because I won't be able to leave the house if I do. so, so, so I have to make sure that I keep grinding. I keep teaching others, building leaders, other people to do the same thing, to duplicate my efforts. I'm very intentional now about who I bring on my team. You have to be able to, you have to be committed to do this. You have to want it as badly as I wanted it. I'm not going to drag you across the floor like dead weight. We're going to help you. I'm going to reach you at your point of need. But at some point, you have to want it really badly. Because when I do my education for finances, I tell people, I can't love your life more than you. As much as I love you, even if I were an identical twin, I would love my twin, but I wouldn't love them more than they love themselves. So you have to make sure that those goals that you're setting, you set those goals for yourself. I set my goal and I achieved it. Yes, I wanted to get a promotion to be a senior marketing director. That's a big deal on my platform, but it's just the beginning. It's not the end of it. I'm not going to stop there. So all of that, just being intentional and actually following my plan closely and staying in alignment with my leaders and my mentors I think that's the biggest part that pushed me to get there.
I love it. And so what is the next goal?
The next goal is to continue building a huge team, building leaders. And then the next goal, I mean, we have different levels on our platform: executive marketing director, CEO. It's to be on a platform where you have multiple CEOs, you don't have just one. It's great, where you can train other people to be like you. You're not selfish. You want people to duplicate your efforts. So the next goal is that, cash flow wise, the goal is to at least be consistently at 50K a month. So that's the goal.
Love it.
Yeah.
Great goal.
Yeah.
Congrats again on those, and thanks for sharing so much in and around that. I think a lot of people are like, hey, here's the goal, I hit the goal, and that means a lot. But going into the reasoning behind those goals and what the next goals are, and then also just that lifelong learner, lifelong student, lifelong, continuous improvement. And it's like, like you said, I haven't made it yet because there's always something to be learning, something to grow, something to put in place. And then the next level, and that's what you're doing now, is empowering others to have that success as well, which I think is the ultimate, position to be in, is where you can help others be successful and see them also then teach others how to be successful. And so that really is where you have that like ripple effect of really helping a ton of people in a whole community. Like you said, the community isn't successful when just one is successful. Successful when the community as a whole is successful. So I love that, especially in an industry like this where it is, sometimes it feels like a lot of like fend for yourself, and everybody is out there and like, swim or die, and no one's going to help you or ever. And I think that's where like coaching and a community come in. A big portion is you have a community that's going to help you, support you, push you, because they're pushing themselves as well. And I think that's a big thing, because it's not fun to feel lonely or like you're trying to figure it out yourself. Much more fun when you have someone to help you push along the right direction. So awesome. Thank you, Saaghe. Right? Yes, in the comments is making sense. Right? Yes, if you're picking up stuff, you're relating with Saaghe, you're learning. Right? Yes, if that's making sense to you guys in the comments. So with that, I know we talked about a lot, Saaghe. So Saaghe, what advice do you have for those tuning in today on what they can do for growing their business, and also what you wish you would have known when you were getting started? So what's your top advice for everybody?
I would say for those who are tuning in today, what I'll tell you is just start off with small goals. Have your big goals, but also start with small goals. When you achieve the small goals, those small goals will fit into the big ones. It's just like the vision. They say the leader has a big vision, and the team members, your vision should be so big that your team their vision should fit into your big vision. So the same thing with your big and small goals. Set those small goals. When you achieve it, celebrate every milestone. Cheer yourself on. Do not do not kick yourself so hard that you fall all the way and then you're trying to pick yourself off the ground. Celebrate the little milestone and then add on to it. Challenge yourself. Just make sure if you're making 10 calls a day, you can challenge yourself and say, okay, I'm going to do 20 calls a day in 2 days, and actually make them measurable, make them SMART goals where it's, you have a time attached to it, not just leaving it in the air. And then when you fail, you're like, well, I didn't say I was going to do it in a week, but attach a time to it. Secondly, again, consistency. Do not slack off for a week or two, because there's some people in that time frame whom you're not going to reach, or people that need you, they need your services. And with you slacking off, that's somebody's family that you could have helped. That's somebody's kid who's going to end up with no benefit check. I've asked people the question, would you rather I bring, I'll say one of my African dishes, would you rather I bring a tray of jollof rice to your funeral or $1 million check? And that what makes the difference is you not being there to help that family. So I would say consistency. Do not let naysayers get in your head. That's one thing that I almost let happen to me, where I was letting the negativity get to me, and I was almost about to, get out of the game, because people kept, are you serious? You're a nurse practitioner. You're going to, sell insurance. Made it sound, water it down. But what we do is bigger than that. You're helping people create wealth. You're helping people preserve their wealth, and you're helping people create a legacy for their families. Things that maybe their parents didn't do for them, you're helping them do that. So we just have to make sure that we're not watering down our message. We're not wavering from our message. Stay true to your message, because when you waver, you also confuse your audience. You also confuse your clients, because they're like, well, last time you said this. Yes, you might add on to what you know, but be consistent, stay on track. And then just make sure that you're educating yourself, you're self-educating. Read books. A lot of what we do is hidden in books. If you educate yourself, you know a little bit more than what your mentor is just telling you, or what somebody is telling you, or what you're reading in social media. You yourself have to educate yourself. Read books. And I do that a lot. I've set a goal for one new book every week, and I try to keep up with that. So that's something that I'll tell new agents to do. Don't just go by the script. Yes, the script helps you, but also go outside the box and educate yourself. I don't know if that's enough sharing, but let me know.
No, that's perfect. That's such great stuff. I mean, we're seeing a lot in the comments that people like,
Yeah.
man, I need to hear this and everything. And I think that's so good. And one thing I wanted to pull out of that, it was all so good, was on the naysayers and kind of that response and how you handled that. And the fact of, hey, my mission and the value, my mission is so big, my goal is so big, and the value I know this providing is so big that the naysayers, all that sort of stuff means nothing to me because I
Mm-hmm.
know of how big my goal is and what I'm doing to help people. And so it doesn't really matter what anybody says because it's not
Mm-hmm.
bigger or more important than what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. And that's even bigger. And so I think when you're confident in that and you know that, then you can just be like, kind of brush it off because it's like, they don't get it. They don't understand what I'm doing or the value I'm providing and how that's making a huge generational impact with people. And so they can say what they want, but it's just, once again, it's like financial literacy. People say
Mm-hmm.
things about money and don't know things, so they're not financially literate. They haven't been taught it. They haven't been educated on it. It's the same thing when it comes to a lot of the naysayers is they just don't understand it. And so it's hard for them to see what you're doing. So that's awesome. When the mission's more important and
Mm-hmm.
than anything, then
Mm-hmm.
it's what you're following, it's what you're doing, and nothing's going to stop you. So I love it. And congrats on pushing through and on doing all that. And
Thank
big
you.
mission. Yeah, the big goal. I mean, making a big impact. You have a big goal to continue making that and helping others then go make that impact themselves on their communities too. So I love it. So guys, we're about to do a Q&A in just a second. So this is your last chance to get some questions in and we're going to do the Q&A and I'm really looking forward to it. We got some really good questions. And in just a second, I'm going to have Saaghe find out how to or share how to connect with her as well. As I know a lot of people here are probably looking forward to connecting with you as well. So with that, before we hop into that, I want to say like every week, we work with agents and agency owners within our private community, the Closers Click, where we work with Saaghe, as well as the Producers Academy as well, and help them grow thriving insurance businesses. And so if you're interested in learning more about what it'd be look like to work with us to scale your business, your network, your commissions, your sales, then write commissions in the comments. We'd love to connect. We'd love to get you some more info, see if it's a fit. In fact, we have a whole bunch of free resources and trainings we'd love to send you guys as well. So if you're new, write commissions as well. We'd love to connect and get some of those sent over to you too. But if you'd like to learn what it looks like to be a part of a program where everybody's pushing forward, growing and scaling their businesses with exact strategies on how to do that and
Mm-hmm.
accountability to make sure you do that and help support you, then write commissions in the comments. And we'd love to get you some info about that. Connect, say hi, and get you some resources as well. So we'd love to talk to you guys. So before we go into the Q&A, Saaghe, please let everyone know where they can find you and who you're looking to connect with as far as ideal referral partners, ideal clients, ideal candidates to join your team, everything, and then how they can connect with you.
Well, so on Facebook with my first name, last name, Saaghe Fogwe, my personal Facebook, I'm rebuilding, the business page because of the hackers. But the business page will be Star Heritage, and I'll share that with you if you connect with me personally on Facebook. So Saaghe Fogwe, on Messenger, you can just send me a message. So the people I'm looking to connect with, of course, other agents who want to collaborate, nurse practitioners, nurses, teachers, because I have kids, right? So I know during the summer months, there are a lot of teachers out there who have free time on their hands, looking to connect with them. And, and then of course, on the client side, anybody who's looking to start saving up for retirement, they're needing protection. They're playing catch up with, their finances. Like, like most of us in our 40s, real estate agents out there. I'll love to have them as referral partners. the small business owners will be a good, good people to connect with, because I can help them with tax-free benefits, show them some tips on how to, to take advantages of those. So those are the people I would want to connect with.
Awesome. I love it, guys. If you want to connect
Mhm.
with Saaghe, as I said, connect with her, send her a message, anything, or just write the word connect in the comments, and then Saaghe can also see that and connect with you as well there as well. But you should be able to see her in a post earlier today, and this one tagged. Maybe I think someone from our team could probably drop your profile in there as well, so that they can connect with you too. So definitely connect and say hi to Saaghe, chat with her. We're always looking to make connections, and I know she's got a lot of really awesome stuff as well. So I've seen a lot of commissions. If you haven't had a chance to write commissions to get some more info on what the Closures Click looks like what Sahi's been implementing and putting in place, then just write the word commissions, and we'll get you some more info on that as well. So time for Q&A. If you didn't get your questions in, too bad. We're going to go answer the ones that did get them in. So time to answer some questions. So we'll do these. There's some good ones. So we'll do this a little bit of rapid fire. There's not a crazy amount, so I think we can get through all the ones that were listed here. So let's go. Maggie was asking, do you buy leads or generate leads by referrals or both?
By referral, mostly by referrals. So yeah, warm market, you help somebody in your warm market, they give you referrals to, to other people that they know, or people that they think need your services, mostly referral basis, and then just yeah, basically that way.
And social media too, right?
Yeah, and social media, I forgot that, the big one. And social media, because people who I've never met before, yeah, definitely, connect with them in that way, yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. You can bring them in from there too, in addition to your warm market also. Helps
Yes.
turbocharge it, right? So let's see. Maggie, how do you manage your schedule?
So, like I said, time was a problem at the beginning, but then I learned to leverage help. So, I'm able to leverage my mentor. I'm able to leverage an assistant. Right now, I'm creating an operations team, getting ready for the explosion, right? You have to think big. So the vision is so big. So I'm already setting up an operations team. So I have an assistant who helps too. But the days when I'm intentional about my business, I organize myself where I make sure that I block out times. I have kids, so I still have to put them on my schedule. My little one just came back from school while we're here. He was good enough not to get on the camera, right? He knows when I'm on Zoom, so he knows, and he demands his time. So he'll put his 8, and he understands what mom does. And so if I need to schedule time for his soccer, I do that. Business time is blocked out. I have my Calendly account, for schedule. So when I block out what I know ahead of time that I don't have time for. That way, once people get on my schedule, it's all about them. It's all about that person in front of me. I'm focused on them. I don't seem distracted. It's really about you on the screen, or you in person if we're doing an in-person appointment. So it's just about really being a planner, planning everything out. You can even plan out 2 days at a time, or plan out the whole week. And then if things come up, life happens. If things come up, you just move things around. And once you build a rapport with your clients or potential clients, they trust you. So if you're changing something, they're not taking it like you're blowing them off. They know that something really came up and you can't meet with them at that time, and they'll work with you. So that's how I try to get organized.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that. Maggie's asked, CC stands for Closers Click, where we work with a lot of agents on growing and scaling their businesses. So once again, if anybody wants more info on that, just write the word commissions. Maggie, so this is actually a few questions, so I'll kind of combine these into one. What products, lines of insurance, everything do you mainly focus on?
So I'm mostly life. I do life. I do long-term care. I do have a health license, but I don't do Medicare or anything like that as of now. Maybe down the road I might pick that up, but I'm really focused on that. So I do all kinds of life insurance, so term, whole, index, universal life, and then with tagging on the long-term care piece. So those are the lines that I'm focused on.
Perfect. Love it. Do you do annuities at all?
Annuities, yes. How
Okay.
can I forget that? That's a big one
I
because
know,
a lot of
right?
I know
Annuities. Everybody loves annuities.
that's a huge one where people need to roll over those 401ks, into something more stable so you don't have a heart attack with the variable market.
Yeah, like
Anyways.
couple weeks last Friday or whatever. The stock market's not so friendly right now.
Yeah.
So perfect. Let's see. I think you kind of answered this a little bit, but we could talk about that a little bit more. Chelsea, on how do you stay consistent when you have a job? Do you use social media when you're working? Kind of how do you balance social and stuff as well while working too?
So it's kind of easy for me because even though I work full time, I'm sort of a contractor. So I'm a nurse practitioner, but a contractor. So I make my own hours. So I go in, do my rounds. Even there, if I need to respond to someone on social media, I still can in between patients. So I do my rounds, come home. The rest of the day, I have to still do business. And then the days when I'm not working, I actually block those days out for business. So I'm very intentional about the business side of things. I make sure that I maximize. If I'm blocking out 10 hours, those 10 hours they're well used. That way, I'm putting in the time to make the calls. I'm putting in the time to reach out to people and, follow-ups and things like that.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's see, Maggie, how long have you been in insurance? 2 years, right?
2 years, yes.
2 years. Already rocking, rolling, scaling, growing. Love it. Let's see. There's a couple questions. I can probably wrap these together. Are you independent? What company are you with? Do you want to share that?
So company-wise, for compliance reasons, I can't really, talk about the platform. But I'm not captive. I'm independent because I can pretty much get appointed to over 70 companies. So I'm not really captive to any one company. I can get appointed to any A-rated company out there. I can get appointed to. I'm not captive.
And what's the name of your agency?
So for
Your
compliance reasons,
your
okay.
personal agency.
Oh, my personal agency. Oh, Star Heritage.
Star Heritage.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's see. Caro's on what 3 bits of advice would you give to a new life agent? Oh yeah, what are three quick tips for a new life agent?
Be consistent with your message and with your time. Secondly, be intentional, about your business. Be very intentional about your goals. Set goals, revise your goals. And your goal could tie into your why you're doing this. Your why keeps stretching. It can keep stretching every year. Mine has stretched so far that I don't even know if the elastic can keep it down. And then thirdly, I would say, so make sure that you're not focused on the money part of things. The money is a side effect of what you do. Let your heart be in this. Have a passion for what you do, because when your heart shows, the commissions will follow. When you go into this thinking strictly money, you can get lost in the mix, because at some point your pen is going to run out of ink. But if you go, it will run out of ink. But if you go in with your heart, the commissions will follow.
Love it. When the heart shows, the money grows, right?
Yes.
Anything I can make rhyme, right? So
I know, right? I love it.
let's see. This might be a little bit different for you because you're doing business a different way. Dwayne Perkins is asking, how many calls does an average agent need to make it a day? So
no, you decide. You're independent. I'm independent, so it's not like you have a double SOB, right?
yeah.
Boss backwards. Boss backwards. You don't have a double SOB standing over you. So you decide what you want to do. Like in my case, if I wake up and I decide to sleep till noon, that's on me, because I didn't make the number of calls. So that's where.
Popped her off again. But while she's popped off again, I want to answer that one as well. It's not, you're starting almost at the wrong place if you're asking how many calls in a day versus starting off what's the end result that you want from that day and working backwards. If it's I want 2 sales in a day, and I know, I know 3 quotes will result in 2 sales, and I know, 6 conversations will result in 3 quotes, and it takes me, 20 contacts to generate 1 conversation, and I need 6 of those. That means I need 120 contacts that I'm reaching out to generate 6 conversations, 3 quotes, and then therefore 2 sales. So you got to start from the end result and work backwards more so than how many calls, and then that's why you need to know your data and numbers too. Sorry, so I bumped you off for a second. Oh, you might be frozen. Test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I know.
She's back now.
The internet's acting up. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're good.
Yes. You can hear me? Okay. So yeah, so he was asking, you answered, you sort of, I heard you talking while I was gone. So you sort of answered that. Yeah, it's really not about the number of calls. It's just you setting a goal for yourself. And if you want to make 50 calls a day, it's up to you. Of course, the volume, it's a game of numbers, right? So the more people you talk to, if you think about it, 10 people you talk to, 3 might respond to you, 3 might be receptive to your message, or actually put in an application. So obviously the more calls you make, the more volume you get.
And conversations are the currency in this industry. The more conversations you have, the more opportunities you have, help people, referrals, referral partners, everything there. But one thing that we teach and preach and focus on too is we like to optimize and give ourselves the best chances possible. So it isn't how many calls I can make, is how can I get more results with less calls? And so what can I do to get a higher contact rate? What can I do to get a higher close rate? What can I do for filling my pipeline with inbound sources as well versus me having to work outbound? All these sort of things. Like, I think a lot of people focus on just activity in general leads to results, which activity does, but also doing the right activity and optimizing activity leads to more results. And that's where you really got to focus and think about this like a business, like a process, like data, numbers. And when you look at that, okay, here's where I can turn the knobs and do these things to get more results. And so
and social media, you're not just the calls, social media, meeting people. I don't stop talking about what I do, whether we're in the bathroom washing our hands at the airport. I'm talking about what I do.
Love it.
Slip it in there.
Telling people in the bathroom. That's right.
You can say no, but you're not going to run out without finishing to wash your hands, right? So by the time they're doing the 20 seconds, I would have already given them the bathroom tip, the elevator tip.
I think you're overestimating how long the typical person washes their hands there. But as a nurse, I love that you think that people typically sit there for 20 seconds and wash their hands.
I know.
I'd like to live in that world too. So I love it.
Ew.
Okay, let's see. Lisa was asking, for newbies, how do you get names and numbers and referrals? How do you get recruits? So yeah, I guess that's a good question. How do you find people to talk to? How do you have these conversations and talk to? And also on the recruiting side, how do you have people join your opportunity and talk to them about that?
So you start with your phone book. You'll be surprised what's in your phone. I have about 1,300 contacts in my phone, and I bet you I have not exhausted it. I have not exhausted it. I still have to do a dump out of my phone to go back and do another, contact list, right? You start from there. Warm market, people, acquaintances, people that you've talked to somewhere, you've met them somewhere. And then the people that they know somebody that you don't know. So again, the referrals come in because you talk to somebody and they don't necessarily are in the right headspace for what you're educating them on right now, whether it's the recruiting side or whether it's as a client, but they know somebody who needs your services. So then the referral from them gets you to another level of people that you can reach out to. And then it keeps growing, it duplicates. But then on the social media side, you start meeting people in the cold market, somebody who doesn't know you from Adam, but you're gonna be my friend. Whether you like it or not, I grow on you. So I'm a stranger to you once. The next time I'm home folk. So we get to know each other. You gradually do that. You build that rapport and you go from there. And so it's just a matter of building relationships because it's really a relationship game.
It is. It's entirely a relationship game. It's a relationship industry, guys. You're in it for the quick buck and the quick convo. You're in the wrong industry. So it's all about those relationships. So I see Cece in the chat. Yeah, she knows all about that too. We had her recently on a live webinar with us as well. So love it. Let's see. We got Maggie. How many hours a day and how many days a week does she sell insurance?
So I would say every day, but not the same number of hours. Obviously, the days I work, it's it's more of a half day. The one goal that I didn't mention is to create 3 days in one day. To create 3 days in one day. Yes. Midnight to 6, 6 to noon, noon to 6 p.m. Most successful people do that. They have 3 days in one day where you actually schedule out those days. So this day is done, those 6 hours, another 6 hours, another 6 hours. Those are 3 days in one. So the days that I'm not working, obviously I'm going to use those and maximize the hours in that day. We're still putting in, personal stuff in there, but being, again, I'll keep using that word, intentional. You have to be intentional about what you're doing, because if you're not, nobody else will be, because that's your baby. That's you creating your own your own agency. Because the job that we go clock in and out, that's somebody else's dream that we're building. That's somebody else's empire, but you're building your own empire here. So you have to be intentional about what you're doing for you to be successful.
Love it. Intentionality, super key. Let's see. I think we got a few more here. Already answered that. Ken was asking leads. So Saaghe's actually doing everything through referrals, network, social media, inbound from that. So she's not working for leads, like as far as from like a vendor and paid leads, correct, Saaghe?
No.
Perfect. And then and she's talking to whoever she can. Did you hear her? She's closing people in the bathroom. So love it. Tangela, let's see. What are 3 key goals a new agent should set? As far as new agents setting some goals, what are some ones they should set for themselves?
So I think I kind of touched on it by being consistent, time management, and then being intentional about everything. And then of course you want to make sure that you're not leaving any stone unturned, right? You want to talk to everyone, to let them know what you're doing. You do not want to be a closet agent. You want people to know what you're doing, be out there, whether it's the social media, whether it's in your community, whatever groups you belong to, they need to know what you're doing. So as an agent, because initially people don't know what you're doing until you let them know. You have to, a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Love it.
If it's closed, it doesn't get fed. So if you're not telling people what you're doing, they're not gonna, sound like a broken record. It's okay. Be a broken record. That way people are like, man, she's talked about this so much. Can I just close her mouth by closing this policy? Hey, you got the business. That's all that matters at the end. And then of course the contacts, make sure that you're going through your phone, you're helping, because you don't want to go out helping people when you have people close to you that you haven't helped. Like I said, I started with my family and made sure my family was protected before I'm going out there to help other people. So yeah.
Love it. Love the comment too, right? This is not a field of dreams. You can't expect to build it and they will come. You have to tell them. Great advice. Love that. Love that. Love that. So thank you so much, Saaghe. We really appreciate you having you here. Everyone, if you could do me a favor and write one or both of 2 things in the comments, either to connect with Saaghe and to touch base with her, let her know that you want to connect. And you can also drop her a message, add her as a friend with her profile and everything there as well. That I think we dropped the profile a little bit earlier in the chat. Just a few messages up, it looks like. And then also write commissions if you'd like some more information on what it looks like to work with us as part of the Closers Click, or for some free resources and trainings and that we have as well. So Saaghe, once again, thank you so much for being here. It's such a pleasure and honor to work with you, to watch your growth and success and continue to see that day in and day out. And we look forward to continuing to work with you. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Have an amazing week. No excuses November. Go take action. Go put stuff into place in your business. We'll be back next Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Put it on your calendar. And then always feel free to ask questions in the group. Connect with us. Say hi. Anything you need help with, let us know. We're here to help support. So thanks, everybody.
Bye.